Welcome back to another episode of With Flying Colors, produced by School of Media and Communication, Manipal Academy of Higher Education, Dubai. In today's episode, we are featuring our alumni, RJ Mariyam. So, Mariam, entertainment has always been your passion, specifically music and dance. So, how has Manipal in particularly, has shaped this passion towards the entertainment field and probably guide you to explore more in this field?
So number one, my faculty was very clear that it's a 3-year course. You've got to do what you love on the side as well. It'll keep you going. So that was number one. At the same time, they gave me the space to go and practice. They took me to Utsav as well. Utsav is where Manipal comes together. We have like an inter-college competition. And I feel when I won in that competition and I came back, I think it just kind of kept going. So balance of both always helps, and I think Manipal has helped me to do that. Even now, I kind of always balance my professional and personal life just because of how the faculty of Manipal has taught me how to balance things.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And now you finally graduated. You
Yeah.
completed your 3 years degree.
Yeah.
So how was it to enter the field of media? As you said, advertising, working in the ad agency was
Yeah.
your very first job.
Yes.
How did it go further?
So number one, Manipal placed me.
Oh, okay, it was through Manipal.
It was through Manipal, and it's a company called Shell's Advertising. And thankfully, my boss, Prince Arora, he was also very familiar with how things worked at Manipal. So things just worked for me, honestly. He knew what my background was, what I did in Manipal. And honestly, a lot of things you learn on the job. So he knew my caliber, he knew what I learned, and at the same time, he pushed me to do better. And Manipal knew. Shruti ma'am, who was the placement officer here,
Okay.
actually helped me with this. And she told Prince exactly what I need to do, what I need to be pushed with, and that's exactly how it happened.
Okay.
Again, Manipal's been my 100% support when it comes to my first job.
So
as
how
well.
long did it take for you to move from your ad agency to where you are right now? That's radio.
So after my ad agency, I was there for 2 years, 1.5, 2 years, and then I joined a multinational company. It's called DMG Events. I was there for another 2 years, but I was still at the company when I got offered City 1016. So that's when I had to make that choice, and I was like, you know what? There's no choice to be made here.
I know. Yeah,
I
you're
mean,
meant to be in
I have to take City 1016 as the job. So yeah, it took from Manipal. I think it took about 3.5, 4 years to
and
join.
how long has it been for you in radio?
6 years.
6 years.
Yeah, 6 years. I can't believe it myself. I can't believe it myself.
And when you see yourself as the very first joinee, a new joinee there, and 6 years down the line, when you see yourself right now,
Yeah.
how has it changed? Or probably the way it has made you right now. How radio has brought in that passion and thirst for exploring more, knowing people more, interacting with people more. How has it helped you?
So because I was a newbie, and because I didn't even have experience in radio. It's not like I've come from another radio station or anything. I wanted to just get to where my colleagues were. So my thrive and my passion of just like getting there, I want to understand everything. I kept asking the most silliest questions, and I don't think any question is silly, number one. I asked the silliest questions, and I had that urge and that thing of just going and asking them, listen, tell me what you've done. Tell me what you've done. Tell me how to do this. I trained for 3 weeks, but honestly, my first day on the show, which was the 4th of Feb, my boss was sitting there. And there are a lot of buttons. You kind of get a little scared, right?
Yeah.
A lot of buttons. And she's like, you know what? You go on air. I'm going to get out. And I didn't know what to do. So I was just thrown in the fire, and I was
Okay.
just told to work. And that's how it happens. You learn, you ask the questions, but you can't keep getting help every time. You've got to be thrown under the bus.
Right.
You've got to be thrown in the fire. And that's how it happened. So I think that journey has been great. I think you learn just by asking the silliest questions and just having the passion of just going on and on.
Right. And
Yeah.
in fact, Mariam, just to add to bit, because I do follow all of you on, social media.
Yes.
So be it Parikshit, be it Karishma, be it Lokesh,
Yeah.
with whom you host your
Yes.
show. It definitely, as a viewer, as a listener, I get a feel that you guys are a family.
Yeah.
They're being there for each other,
Yeah.
especially during Ramadan. I remember
Yeah.
you were it was time for you to break your fast, but the way Lokesh was handling the show,
Yes.
giving you time to break the
Yes.
fast, then get back on radio was amazing. Be it a workplace, it's important to collaborate and work with each other.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's what I can see on radio as well with you guys.
It is, I mean, the team is family. And I've got this question so many times. And it's so hard to make people believe that we are a family because it's such a competitive industry
Right,
that
yeah.
people just think that we want to step over each other.
Right.
But that's really not the case. Each and every presenter on the station has a different talent. That's number one. Number two is you get to learn from that. If I can teach something and I can give them something, I'm also taking something from them, asking them that question. They're asking me that question. And right now, I think with social media
Yeah.
and the whole collaboration life that's going on,
Absolutely.
people just want to be there for each other. And I think that's at least with the team. Obviously, even if it wasn't, I'm not going to say it today in front of the camera. But no, honestly,
Yeah.
we are a team. And like Lokesh and I are super different. If you think of Lokesh
Yeah.
and Mariyam as people, we're so different from each other. He's a lot into, intellectual,
Yeah, yeah.
when he talks also you can understand that he's the one teaching me
Yes.
English on air. I'm into the whole entertainment, singing, dancing. He's into
Right.
cooking and all of that.
Right.
So there's a good balance, which is why we're together. And which is why I think we just kind of feed off of each other, which is
Yeah.
great. And
Yeah.
yeah, we are a family. We truly, truly are. Truly are.
That's amazing to know, Mariam. And
Yeah.
I'm happy that you brought this up, because
Yeah.
that's what I've also seen, especially when there is a newcomer being joined in the
Yeah.
team. There are a lot of such questions coming up.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and also adding it to the status of radio currently.
Yeah.
There is so much of digital technology and digital media right now. Radio, of course, has evolved over the years, being from traditional media to the modern media, specifically podcast and everything.
Correct.
Do you see that there is a future in radio, and specifically for the students who are really passionate of getting into radio? How do you see it?
Oh, 100%. The only difference I would tell you is radio has now become 50% on air and 50% visual. Before, it only used to be, I've heard her voice.
Yeah.
Now people know how radio presenters look. And with the whole podcast, era coming out and stuff, I think whatever you can do on radio can be put up on digital. But radio, the credibility of radio versus the videos that we get on WhatsApp, the credibility of radio is still up there. And people will still want to go back to radio. Number one, to talk to people who they can relate to.
Yeah.
Okay? And it's not a 30-seconder. It's not like something that they need to just like watch all the time.
Right.
You're driving. Again, we're also podcasts. Technically, we're podcasts with music
Yes.
and a few ads. Podcasts are also with ads.
Yes.
But we kind of bring in the Bollywood feel. We kind of bring the whole 360 degree, and it's a two-way communication. Right? On the radio, we want to make sure that whoever's listening to us can also interact with us. And we're credible in so many ways, So I think 100%, especially in Dubai, I'm telling you, radio is still a medium that will go on and on for years to come. So
Amazing.
100%.
Amazing. Before I move to our next question, I've planned a small game for us,
Hmm.
mainly for you, keeping in mind your passion for music.
Oh,
And
no.
I have in fact named the game as Musically. I remember this particular app called Musically, where
Yes.
a lot of people would, gather content and create content.
Correct.
Thank you for joining us with this episode of With Flying Colors, produced by School of Media and Communication, Manipal Academy of Higher Education, Dubai. Stay tuned.